All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. I've been very excited to get this playthrough going.
The Hudson River, 2 years ago.
Oh, can't
We
interrupt,
had
can't
classified
interrupt
intelligence
Snake.
that a new type of Metal Gear was scheduled for transport. The whole thing stank, but our noses have been out in the cold too long.
Oh, this game has such a good beginning. I'll talk a tiny bit, but I don't want to cover up too much of the cutscene. But yeah, easily one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game. When we get going, I want to give a little bit of my history with the Metal Gear series. I know I did that with when I played Metal Gear Solid 1, or at least part of it. So I'm going to kind of rush to the beginning. I don't know when he starts talking. But yeah, I don't actually know when I first saw the name Metal Gear. I have vague memories because, like, when I was a little kid, I used to always go to Funkoland, and they had like a newspaper that had like a list of all the consoles and all the games that were made for that console, and what price should they be available. And like no pictures or anything. And honestly, it looked like something like looking at stocks in a newspaper. But I would sit there like, oh, if only I had that console, and I'd love to have these games. And then I would eventually go to NES, which at the time was the only console I had. Yeah, get that cardio. And I love it. And I vaguely remember seeing the name Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Snake's Revenge, which I'll talk about those more at another time, because I do intend on playing like the old Metal Gear games from before Metal Gear Solid and talking about the differences between the American series and Japanese series. But I remember seeing the name and just being intrigued. What is this Metal Gear game? But I don't think I knew anything about the series until Metal Gear Solid 1. I love this beginning. So graceful. But yeah, there was I'm gonna have to stop soon here because there's gonna be a cutscene and a lot of dialogue. Reminds me of Sonic a little bit. I watched Sonic yesterday. Thinking about doing a bonus video to release tomorrow, talking about the Sonic movie. But I'll get to that after this game. So, Toyota.
Our boy, he's right on schedule.
I love it.
He'll know soon enough.
So the first time I can really remember, truly remember knowing anything about the Metal Gear series was actually a very brief preview. It was like a magazine. Towards the end of it, they'd have like a single picture and a paragraph, and it was kind of like, we don't have any real information on this game, but boy, we're looking forward to it. One of those games was Metal Gear Solid. I'll pause for a second here.
This is Snake. Do you read me, Otacon?
Loud and clear, Snake.
Kept you waiting, huh? I'm at the sneak point.
Everything going okay?
The stealth camo's busted. Landing impact.
We must have overused it. Sorry, but you're gonna have to deal with it. You're not in the military anymore.
Right. I didn't plan on relying on this gadget anyway.
The private sector's not so bad, is it? Privacy guaranteed?
I'm happy as long as no one gives me any more unwanted gifts.
You mean that thing with Naomi?
And I can't say I miss the chattering nanny.
Mei Ling's not so bad. That reminds me, I have to get in touch with her again about that new Natick flashware.
Diverting toys from the SSCEN again? But give her a message from me. Someone will find out, sooner or later. She's better off assuming it sooner and quit while she's safe.
Too true. Okay, Snake, let's get to work. You know how the technical specs of Metal Gear were sold on the black market after Shadow Moses?
All Ocelot's doing.
Exactly. And now every state, group, and .com has its own version of Metal Gear.
Not exactly a classified weapon for today's nuclear powers.
This new one seems to have been designed to wipe the floor with all the other
That's
models.
right.
The only consistent description is that it's an amphibious anti-Metal Gear vehicle.
By the way,
That
if you hit
explains why this one is
R1,
under
you
Marine
hear
Corps
his thoughts.
jurisdiction.
Oh, it was too late.
The mission objective is to make visual confirmation of the new Metal Gear being transported by that tanker and bring back photographic evidence. But I want you first to go up to the top level of the infrastructure, to the bridge. We need to find out where the tanker is headed.
A little reconnaissance, huh?
There's too much we don't know about this new prototype. Capabilities, deployment method. We don't even know how close it is to completion. If we know where the testing arena is, I can start to draw some reasonable conclusions.
All right, I'll head to the bridge ASAP.
Try to avoid confrontations. Our goal is to collect evidence on Metal Gear development and expose it to the world. It would be best if you could get out of there without alerting anyone.
Don't worry, I know the drill. We're not terrorists.
Very good. Don't you forget that you're part of Philanthropy now, an anti-Metal Gear organization and officially recognized by the UN.
Recognized, but still fringe, Otacon.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's look at your gear. Your weapon is a tranquilizer gun converted from a Beretta M92F.
M9.
It's a little hard to work with because you have to reload after each shot since the slide locks.
Better than scavenging at the mission site. Good suppressor, too.
The chemical stun will take effect in a few seconds and last for hours. You can take down an elephant with that thing. Check out the laser sighting, too. The effects of the anesthetic round will vary depending on what part of the body is hit. We're talking about a difference of tens of seconds between hitting limbs, chest, or head. As for the equipment... Hey, Snake! Cigarettes? What's wrong with you?
It's kind of a lucky charm.
You haven't read the Surgeon General's warning, have you? Here's the digital camera. Works almost the same way as your old one.
They don't look armed.
Hey, Earth to Snake. These are nice, upstanding Marines, not terrorists. Don't get caught. You're in stealth mode here.
Sure, and if it comes to that, a little beauty sleep never hurt anyone. By the way, Otacon, are you sure of this intelligence?
Absolutely. Hacked it out of the Pentagon's classified files myself.
No traces?
Oh, please. I'm too good for that.
But this might be a trap. Remember, there's a price on our heads.
You're just being paranoid.
I hope so. Those men, you wouldn't think they were anything but civilians from here.
With all the ships passing on the river and in the harbor, putting uniformed Marines on the deck would be a bad idea. People can get a clear view of the water from Riverside, too.
The water line is too high. According to the navigational plans, this ship should have discharged its cargo upriver.
It's in there, no doubt about it.
The military trains you to watch for threats from the stern on a boat. That's SOP for counter-terror ops, too. Security should be tighter.
You worry too much.
Where's the target?
Satellite surveillance is a major international pastime these days. I'd say the cargo holds, safely below the deck. Do you see the entrance to the holds?
Looks like there are a few entryways into the crew quarters. The chopper. What?
By the way, this game's a bit bloody.
Looks like we're not the only ones after Metal Gear tonight.
Is that a chopper I just heard?
Affirmative. Probably another cavalry. What's their game? Hijack?
They're probably targeting the ship's controls.
Otacon, how many men do you need to take over a tanker of this size?
The ship is run by a computer, so I'd say about 18 people.
AKS-74U. Russians?
You sure?
No Marine barber touched that head of hair.
Wonder how accurate that is. Like you could tell which country which country's army the person's
Let's
from
get an
based
ID on
on
him
their
ASAP.
I'm on it.
haircut. I never really thought about it, but taking the picture of him, like I need information
Looks like the
ASAP.
tanker's theirs now.
That kind of implies that he can send the
K-60 Kasatka.
Kasatka? Kamarov chopper, right? Killer whale.
but it implies that he can send the photo directly to Otacon. But I need a
We need to get a
computer
fix on who they are.
to send him
Judging by their
pictures later.
transport, aren't they some kind of military commandos?
Not necessarily. It could be the KA-62, the civil model.
Look, Snake, all we need is the photographic evidence of Metal Gear. As long as we have those, we can put it online and blow the whole thing wide open. So no pyrotechnics, okay?
All right. I'll do my best.
This isn't like Shadow Moses. Reach me if anything happens. The frequency's 141.12.
How can I check in and save my progress?
I'll do it. There's a frequency set aside for it. 140.96.
No doubt about it.
Sorry, but no Mei Ling
That's
this
right.
time. Call me on the codec when you want to save.
That's right. Got it.
I'll be waiting just past the Verrazano Bridge. You need to be off that ship by then.
I'll be in touch.
All right, let's do this. It's been a while, so I need to remember controls here. Oops. How do I? Okay, there's first person. How do I run with that? Okay. Alright, gotcha. So, as I was saying earlier, my first experience where I can truly remember, like anything Metal Gear would have been that little preview in the magazine, and it's funny because it's like one picture, which I'm going to try to find it, if I remember. I think it was actually a, can I choke? That didn't go well. Holy crap, that's quite the kick. Sure, now I can do that. It's okay, I got bandages. He's just trying to tell me to go down. Oh boy.
Unable to locate the AWOL zone. Nothing else to report.
Really? It looks like you woke him up.
I'm under enemy fire. Secure the perimeter.
Interesting. I did a bad job. So, saw that preview, saw that single picture, super psyched, couldn't wait for more. Trapped under a boat. I am doing bad at this game. I just wanted to throw one guy. Like I was desperate to find out more information. Like I'd go shopping with my mom, always run over to magazines, like start flipping through them, trying to find any that had anything to do with the game. And then finally, Pizza Hut decided to become like the coolest company in existence. They had exclusive PlayStation demos. Haha. And so I got the demo that had I got the demo that had Metal Gear Solid on it, and my word, I played through that so many times. I was desperate to like find everything in that game. I don't want to go in this entrance. I want to go up top for a second. Where's that guy? Alright, he's coming back this way. Gotta do my chin-ups. No, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to be called... If you do enough chin-ups, you actually level up your grip meter. It's not needed at all in this game, but you can do it. But yeah, I wanted to find every secret in that demo. Like I would clear out the enemies and come on, jump over, and then run around and explore like the edges of the levels. I went through the what do they call it, the codec, and just radioed every single number to try to find any character that wasn't like introduced to you in the demo. Which actually there was one. There's a character, Natasha, who isn't introduced until later in the game. And just watching the radar. There you are. And you can actually radio her. Oh, I thought it was going to come around for a second. You can radio her in the demo, even though she's not introduced until later in the game. So I always thought that was really cool. Aha. Cool. Let's go ahead and toss you down. But then the game finally came out, and a friend of mine bought it, came over. We stayed up way too long playing it. I mean, I borrowed it from him at some point, beat the game. Finally got my own copy of it. I beat that game so many times. Like, I'd hear about a secret, and I'd go play through it again, trying to figure out whether or not the secret was true. Is there an item up here? I can't see that up here. Like, and then, so you can imagine when Metal Gear Solid 2 was announced, I was so excited. I was so ready for it. And, footprints. Oops. Previews for that I'm going to talk about in a I want to talk about the previews for that game in a later video, but there was a demo for that as well. The demo for that game actually came out with another game called Zone of Enders, and so a friend of mine got Zone of Enders and invited me over. We stayed up probably all night playing the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, and then I even borrowed that from him. And like, people were so hyped for that game that there was like literally previews just for the demo. Like, oh, here's all the stuff we found in the demo. I'm gonna get into some of the random stuff. So there's a reason why I'm taking this picture. Good. No, how do I get... Not trying to zoom in. It's a joke later in the game. It'll probably be the next episode with how slow I'm moving on this. Good. But there's a few different Easter eggs with these things. First of all, what button is it? Okay, yep. So you can look out. Isn't this pressure sensitive? Huh. I think my third-party controller doesn't have the pressure sensitivity. Because if you hit that, they can hear you. But there's a lot of perverted Easter eggs in this game. So, if you listen, he kisses her, and then I don't know if I have to, let's see. Oops, wrong button.
This reminds me of when we first met.
Nope.
I
this
was the
isn't
one
it.
inside the locker.
Yeah. Do I just need to be looking at her? Ah, wrong button. They Americanized the controls, so I keep on hitting the O button.
If you open the locker,
Oh, shut up.
push the action button once more.
I'll get it, I swear.
If you open the locker, you
Oh,
can
shut up.
If you open the locker,
I'll leave that one open. Let's try it. I'm just gonna end up having to fast forward to this until I get it. Maybe I needed the heartbeat.
if you open the locker, you can use the door as a
No doubt
cover
about
during
it.
an exchange of gunfire. But of course, this is a pretty flimsy door. There are You can also hide enemies you've not. Push the action button.
Oh my word. Okay. We're gonna get this to work, I swear.
Push the action button.
Oh my word.
You can also hide.
Is it, do I have to be outside the locker?
See those lockers? That's a good place.
You don't say.
What do you think you're doing, Snake? You don't have enough to keep you busy? Try to remember the mission if you can.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, one more. One more. As you can see, you can knock. Unless you hit the... Oops. Ah! This is not good. All that simply for a joke. I thought I'd have another moment before they got around the corner. There is a ton of ways you can interact with everything in this game. It's actually more interactive than I think any game I had experienced before this. And in some ways, there's certain things you can do in this game that you can't even do in like modern games. Partially that's because it's pointless, doesn't really add to the overall game, and is kind of a waste of processing. But Hideo Kojima's crazy, and we love him for it. Yeah, actually, I think the first 4 Metal Gear Solid games, like the actual Solid games, The first two games were just called Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake. The American version of Metal Gear, they made a lot of changes in it. And I'd have to do research on this to see if I'm correct. But I believe it was... Metal Gear was decently popular in the US. But they were showing no interest in making a sequel at the moment. So America was like, well, forget that. We're making our own sequel. And then... I think Hideo had heard about it and wasn't that thrilled with it. So he decided to make a true sequel. One of the things I love about this game, oops, you can see the darts. So, the American sequel was Metal Gear Snake's Revenge, which I own. I don't think I've ever played it, though. And then the real sequel was Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which was only ever released until Metal Gear Solid 3 was only ever released on the Japanese computer, the MSX. Metal Gear Solid 3 had... it's not what I was trying to do. Metal Gear Solid 3 had, like the first American versions of Metal Gear 2, like the true versions of the game. Alright. But yeah, the first probably 4 games in the series were all like major, basically game changers for me as far as like video games. They all had something I feel like I'd never really experienced. The first game, I know now that stealth existed long before Metal Gear Solid. But at the time, I'd never experienced a stealth game. And so was having that type of interaction and just that fear of hiding near an enemy and, oh no, is he going to see me? Like, that was such a new experience for me. Oops. This game, the level of interaction and all this stuff was insane. In 3, it had a lot to do with, sorry, I love doing that. Yeah, you can run and roll. In 3, like the stealth was kicked up to another level, having the camouflage, hiding out in the woods and everything. I use a snipe. I don't know if I can't go this way yet. And then 4, just a conflict that felt real, having I keep on trying to hit triangle to go first person. I think that's what it was in the first game. But yeah, having the conflict of the rebels versus the whatever country's military, and being able to take part in it or hide from it, the additions to the stealth. Yeah, every game in this series, the first 4 anyways, feel like it just offered me something I'd never personally experienced. Don't mind me, I'm just having a little fun. If I remember correctly, oh, you're just gonna stay like that. Fine. Nah, whatever. I think some magazines have multiple pictures inside, so that way I love it. So you can make it look like you're jumping between different pages, basically. I think this is the first time I'd seen glass that like broke based on exactly where you hit it instead of just all shattering at the same time. Eventually it shatters. There it goes. I thought I shattered a lot earlier than that. This part was a big. People were super psyched because like the bottles broke depending on where you shot them. So shoot them up top, top breaks off. Shoot them down low, shatters like that. Yeah, middle's basically the same. Or you can be like me and just punch them all. Aha. Say no to alcohol. Then everyone talked about the ice. Because it all melts. Yeah, get a little closer. Ah! You can see it a little bit. Everyone was talking about how, oops. Apparently the pieces that were closer to each other melted slower. Which I don't know if that's perfectly accurate. But hey, the ice cubes melt. Dale, you're a madman. Alright, let's go, I think I have to... Ah! Don't notice me. Yeah, the guards are much more observant in this game. Oh, man. It's already been like 36 minutes. I need to... Ah. I need to, call it an episode soon. I'm gonna do a slightly longer first episode. Yeah, they have that little moment to help you understand, hey, lighting is very important in this game. Oops. Got him before he could call for help. Later in the game, it becomes more difficult, because the guards, there'll be someone in, like, at least one person in each room, basically, that, checks in on the radio. So you'll hear, you'll just occasionally hear him go, nothing here. And so you can take out everyone else, but if you take out him, he'll miss his check-in. And they're like, hey, what's going on? And if he doesn't respond, they'll send someone to check out, someone to check on him. Little things like that. It's like, the guards, in some ways, are smarter than they were in the previous game. In some ways, are about the same. But there's little things like that, such as checking in, that make it so you can't just run around killing everyone if you wanted to. You have to be a bit more careful. I don't want to stop playing. Yeah, I know. Trying to tell me there's explosives. come in here for a second. Ah.
What's that?
Is that other guy going to come back upstairs?
Oh, what's that? Where's that?
I didn't know where he was.
I got him. Send reinforcement.
Like a duck.
I got him. Send reinforcement.
Well, he needs reinforcements.
We've lost contact with Deck D. Backup unit, check it out.
Huh?
Enemy personnel on board. All units, maximum alert.
Send the replacement guard for the area.
Understood. Backup squad to Deck D. Guard at the galley area.
Well, that's not good. Sure hope they don't check under tables. Probably should have ended this episode. Oh well. So what'd I get? I don't want to go too long, so actually I will goof around in here for a moment and then call it an episode. Actually, this is pretty close to where the demo ended. And then we'll start the second episode off boss battle. I do like that one of the details is kind of area specific damage. So when using a real gun, when using a real gun, shooting someone in the arms or legs will disable them, but will not kill them. So like you can shoot the arm they use to use to shoot their gun, they can't fight back. You can shoot them in the leg so they can hobble away, but they can't run. I need to check some of that. I think these have different tones. Just more pointless stuff. Because why not, basically. Like you can shoot the condiments. And get stains on the table. Because once again, why not? Hideo, I love your games. Can I take that out with the trank? Nope. Timing. Go away.
Freeze. Huh?
I didn't actually mean to I was going to try to choke him and forgot I had my gun out. Yeah, I forgot you can hold them up to hostage and steal their dog tags. Alright, so cutscene up here, and I'm going to end it with that. Starting to say something a minute ago. Oh yeah, area-specific damage. It comes into play with the tranquilizer darts. So like shooting them in the leg or an arm will take like, I don't know, 10-15 seconds to cause them to collapse. Shooting them in the torso might only take around 5 seconds or so, but shooting them in the head will instantly knock them down.
So it is the Kasaka.
So that was
choppers.
That was pretty awesome. Nothing like a panic shot and then having to then run it over to see where you actually shot him. It combines two things I love, like knowing exactly where I hit someone, which I've liked that since like Siphon Filter and GoldenEye, where you get like a red stain on the body to show where you shot him, and the darts. And I love anything where you can actually see your projectile sticking out of the person. Like, I love it in like Elder Scrolls and Far Cry. I always use a bow in those games and then try to see where I actually shot the person. Maybe I'm just screwed up. Who knows? Alright, do your talking and let's call it an episode.
Snake, did you find out where that ship is headed?
No doubt about looking at it. 35 degrees longitude, latitude around 58.
More than 500 miles off the coast of the Bermudas, out in the middle of the Atlantic. So the prototype is ready for solo testing. It's basically combat worthy. That area is outside the Second Fleet's operational range, too. It must be a standalone Marine Corps project, which means this prototype Metal Gear must be designed for independent deployment without any naval assistance.
That's right.
Anyway, analysis can wait till later. Snake,
That wasn't
you
an
need to go
analysis?
down to the holds and locate the actual metal.
Alright, well, thank you for joining me. Oh, taking some damage. Tune in next time to see me battle whoever that mysterious character was. Hope you enjoyed the first episode. Boy, I'm looking forward to. Whoops. Boy, I'm looking forward to playing through the. Come on. What a smooth ending. Boy, I am looking forward to playing this game again.
Do you want to save, Snake?
Until next time.
Snake, you of course know the saying, one for all for one?
What is this all of a sudden?
Oh, I figured you'd need a lot of motivation, so I came prepared. It's from the Three Musketeers. The book, not the candy bar. Anyway, it means that if you go up against everyone by yourself, they'll gang up on you too, I think. Since you're on your own on that ship, you need to take this to heart and avoid confrontations. How was that? Just like the old days, huh?
Almost reminds me of Mei Ling. But you sure you got it right?
Of course. And I'll teach you a lot more of these. You can count on it.
Great.